Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. I'm here in Vegas, actually. I am speaking, or I just spoke at an event here. I did a keynote for Blackboard Developer Conference, which went pretty well. I actually had an hour and a half, so I gave my 5 soft skills talk. You can check out the Xamarin one I did here. It's a little different. I may have the video from this one pretty soon. We'll see what happens. I think they're recorded, so I should have the video. But anyway, an hour and a half gave me some time to talk about. That talk is different every time because there's different things that come up. I have a rough outline of what I want to talk about, but it depends on the audience and it depends on how I feel that day, honestly. And I think that's the best way to go, is to have some ideas when you talk. But if you want to talk from be genuine. If you want to talk from, your heart, really, not to sound too cheesy, you've got to basically, have a lot of it just coming from where you're at that point. So, a lot of what I say on this channel as well, it comes from that. What am I doing? What am I experiencing right now? And so sometimes things might even sound contradictory because it's all about context. It's all about what's going on. So anyway, I thought I would do an entrepreneurial type of video, answer one of these questions here. I've got a light here. It's blinding me. By the way, I'm staying in the Palazzo Hotel. It's a pretty cool view for those of you who like Trump. There you go. How about that? Trump Tower down there. So you can't really see the view at night. Anyway, I thought I would do a video about multiple streams of income for those of you that want to be entrepreneurs. So, gosh, this is blinding me. In a recent video you posted, let's see, I'll just kind of summarize some of this. Well, I don't know, I'll read it. In a recent video you posted, you talked about multiple streams of income helping you to get to where you are today financially. I've always been a big believer in multiple streams of income, and I've made the Udemy courses to try and contribute to that. I'm assuming this is from my buddy Tom, so I'm assuming he doesn't care if I use his name here. Since this is not of a personal nature. And now I have 3 streams of income. One is just $50 to $100 a month. The other is about $75 to $200 per month, and the other is a set one of $225 per month. In total, I'm around $500 a month, which for the most part is passive. I realize none of these are big income streams, but everything adds up, I guess. I also have started WPWithTom.com, and I'm happy to promote that, WPWithTom.com, since Tom is such a cool guy, where I make YouTube videos and Udemy courses, but I am thinking about making other WordPress courses and hosting them myself on there and selling them at a price point I'd like, where I can actually make 100% of the sale, unlike Udemy, where it's usually about 40%. I've debated doing that. Brian Johnson, he says, awesome YouTube channel, I highly recommend it, does where he has this little bitch for his... Did I really just say little bitch? Oh gosh, I didn't get much sleep. And I've been talking a lot today, as you can tell from my voice. Where he has this little pitch for his membership site at the end of every video he makes. Now we get to the question. Question: is it a bad idea to start multiple online business type websites to build multiple income streams all at the same time? Do you think focusing on one would yield better results in the long term? I have done multiple sites previously, but I think 3 is likely the max I'd want to do now, and I need to set them up to outsource a portion of the work, most likely. Before, I was doing around 10 online business type sites, and that just got too crazy to manage. Thanks, Tom. So here's the thing, Tom. This is a good question. So hopefully it's not going to be too dark in here. But anyway, the multiple streams of income is really important. And I think it's good. I'm glad that you're thinking that way, because I think this is really, really important. You got to diversify, right? And I don't mean the diversify by diversifying your investments, although that's arguably important. But just put it all in real estate. Let's be serious here. No. Anyway, the point is that if you have multiple streams of income, you have multiple security mechanisms, right? And it's like, not one thing is not going to sink your ship, right? So that's great, but there's a contrasting problem here, which you're pointing out in this email. I'm just highlighting it for everyone, which is the fact that if you do this, if you go and you spread yourself thin, you're going to have a lot to manage and a lot of overhead. So should you just go deep and focus? So let's think about this way. So let's say that there's a lot of people that maybe they start digging, a gold mine, right? And they hit a little bit of gold. They're panning gold dust, right? And they're panning that gold dust, and then they want to get more gold dust. So what they do is they say, well, if one mine that's producing gold dust, haven't hit any major gold yet, but that's all right. But if one mine is producing some good gold dust for me, I have no idea how gold mining works. I'm assuming it works like this, but then I should start another mine, right? So they start digging all these holes. They start digging all these mines. They're panning gold dust, right? And what ends up happening is, managing two gold mines. Again, I know nothing about this, but let's pretend like I do and stick with the story. Managing two gold mines is a lot more difficult than one. It's not twice as hard, it's 3 times as hard, right? And if you scale that up, unless you have a real good system in place and a team and processes, it doesn't scale. It ends up being overwhelming, and you're still panning for gold dust. So it's important to have multiple streams of income, but I would not make those multiple streams of income be different businesses. Instead, take one vehicle, right? One gold mine, and dig it deep. Get the benefit from digging deep, right? And then what you do is you have multiple streams of income from that gold mine. So maybe you dig really deep, and while you're digging that gold mine, you find some silver ore as well. Probably doesn't work like this, right? Or some diamonds, right? Or whatever. Or some coal. And you start, you've dug this big deep hole, right? This mine. So you can mine all kinds of stuff out of there. And so you're going to get better. And you don't want to be panning for gold dust, right? You want to get deep. And the only way you're going to get deep is if you focus. So, again, I'll use Simple Programmer as an example, right? I've got multiple streams of income, but I've established each one of those streams one at a time and dug deep in each one. And I'm not the perfect model for this, right? If I were starting over today, I tell you what I would do. I would not be spreading very thin at all. I would be picking one thing, and I'd be focused on it. I'd go really, really deep with that one thing, right? Even Simple Programmer, like soft skills, it is really hard to gain traction right now. I'm gaining traction, it's good, right? But think about it, it's taken a long time and it's taken a lot of work, because soft skills for software developers, it's so spread out, right? I've got a lot of stuff here. I'm gaining traction primarily by reputation, right? What I mean by that is people stumble upon my stuff, they like my videos, or they like what I'm talking about, or they like me, and that's how I'm growing. And that's not the best way to grow. It'd be better to be like an expert in one specific thing and then just hammer the hell out of that thing, and then you would grow faster. Now, ultimately, doing the way that I'm doing, I'm going to grow big, and I have grown, fairly big, not, but I'm sidetracking a little bit, but I want you to understand the point that going deep is really important. And so here's the thing, like again with Simple Programmer has multiple streams of income, right? It's not just selling one product, right? There's a lot of ways that I make money through Simple Programmer, and I've talked about this before, but essentially I've got books, I've got courses, I've got advertising, I've got affiliate income, we've got the Patreon now that's helping to support the YouTube channel. Thank you for those of you that are pledging to that, and so it's kind of like a membership community to some degree. So there's multiple streams of income in there, and each one of those has multiple streams. There's multiple ways that we're able to generate affiliate revenue. There's multiple products. There are multiple advertising avenues, right? There's a lot of so that's where you're diversifying and having those multiple streams. Now, at some point, what I could do, or what I've thought about doing, is making Simple Programmer kind of a automated, get all the processes in place, get the team, get it hired, and it's running and it's making money and it's doing its thing and it's continuing to thrive, and I've got a team running that, and then I move on to the next thing and go deep and build that next gold mine. And that's probably a good strategy. I probably will eventually do that in some form or another. We'll see. But what I would suggest for you and anyone really like starting out that's trying to build up their business and their passive income stream is that you pick one business and you go really deep with it, right? Because it takes time and it takes commitment. It takes a long time to get that. And then when you get deep enough where you're not panning for gold anymore, gold dust, and you're actually ore, you're getting ore, you're getting gold ore. Now you spread out within that depth, right? Now you build more products, right? And it's all based off of the same thing because you're marketing to the same audience, right? You've got the traction, because traction is the hardest thing, right? If you give me a list of 1,000,000 people, an email list, like to put 1,000,000 people, I could build a business. Anyone could build a business out of that, but it's hard to get the traction, to get the audience, to get that whatever it is, even if it's coming from Google, you somehow getting leads is hard for your business, right? But once you have the reputation, once you have that, then you've got a lot of options to diversify that. Now, once you've got that and you've got a system, I think it's a really smart idea to move on. Like I said, build more gold mines, but make sure that you've got your first gold mine running as efficiently as possible before you spread out your resources, right? We could look at history for examples of why this is important, right? Some of the greatest empires that have fallen, I'll pick out Rome. Napoleon had this problem, but essentially it was because they spread too thin. They were fighting wars on too many fronts. Right? And you, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as somebody who's trying to build your passive income, you do not want to be fighting wars on too many fronts. So pick one front, don't spread out too far and too fast, and go deep with that. And once you have passive income, right? This is the other piece of this, right? I don't want to make this too long, but this is the other piece of this. Once you have a business, and that business allows you to quit your 9-to-5 job. So your time is bought. You have 8 extra hours a day or more, right? If you don't have to commute anymore. Now you have more resources available to you, right? You don't want to spread out unlimited resources. If you've played StarCraft or you've played like Warcraft or something like that, you understand resource management, and building a business and entrepreneurship and passive income and the whole financial game is all about resource management. It's your time, it's your money, it's your energy, all of those things. If you want to be successful as an entrepreneur, you have to be good at resource management. And so with that, you can't spread yourself too thin. You got to go deep. You get the gold mine going before you move on and get some more Vespian gas or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, before you build a second base or whatever, however you want to interpret this. But yeah, so you're doing good. It's awesome. But cinch it down, get it all to one related thing. And if you have that business flowing and you feel like you want to move on, but you've got everything automated, and then you want to move on to another business, then go do that. But first kick ass at one. First get yourself free, focus, go all the way down and get free, and then move on. So anyway, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you would like to become part of the community of simple programmers who are on Facebook, we've got a pretty cool Facebook group, or if you just want to support the channel, just check out the Patreon page. I would definitely appreciate it, and I would welcome you to the community. Thank you for watching the video, and if you have questions for me, don't hesitate to ask. All right, take care, and I'll talk to you next time.